we're so far away.
No, I think we're fine.
Okay. Good morning.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
It might not be morning by the time we post this.
Welcome.
You do it.
What is this, 5?
Huh?
Is this episode 5?
6.
Episode 6. Season 1, episode 6 of the It's Fine vlog. We're still working on the podcast aspect.
The first and last season.
No, don't speak that over us. The first of many. If you're here, just thank you for joining us on our humble beginnings. We are very humble, and we know that we are still beginning. So we're working out the kinks. But yeah, so, yeah. Tasha, Shannon.
Hi, I'm Shannon.
Hi. So, how was your week? Update.
Okay,
Tell them what you're gonna
so
update.
last week we talked about how we are doing a September challenge, and we're doing it for 2 different reasons, but we're doing the same thing. So we're both watching our diet and exercise and stress management. I am doing it because I've got to get rid of the diabetes. It's awful. And she is trying to lose weight. So, a little history with the blood sugars. When you are fasting, like when you wake up in the morning, you know, because you don't eat while you're sleeping. Well, some people might. But anyway, when you wake up after sleeping for however long, your blood sugar should be under 100. Well, there are some of us that are an exception to that rule, and we can get it all the way up to 179. But this week, I took my blood sugar every day, and I've actually gotten it down to 129.
Okay.
And that was yesterday.
Progress.
I ran out of test strips. So I don't know what it is today, but by the time I get some new ones, and I have lost 6 pounds.
All right.
So, and that's just a bonus of doing what you're supposed to do. Supposed to do.
Doing what you're supposed to do.
And so I'm excited about that. But mentally, I was ready for it, so I'm not missing the chocolate. And that's the thing about diets. You've got to be ready. Yeah. Lifestyle changes. Because if you do it when you're not ready, you're craving all that crap. And so one of our coworkers is leaving to go to another campus, and he wanted to go to the Cajun King for his bye-bye lunch. So we went to the Cajun King, and I was like, what can I eat here? I had blackened pork chops, blackened catfish, blackened chicken. I had green beans, black-eyed peas, and red beans.
You like a lot of color in your green, red, black,
Right.
and black, and black, and black.
And so...
You know what they say, once you go black, you never go back.
I'm probably going to have regular pork chops from now on. But anyway, who knows what that's going to do to my blood sugar or whatever. But the point of me telling you that was it was a buffet. And it was filled with macaroni and cheese. I mean, it had all the things that I love. And I just went through that buffet and took out the things that were closest to what my diet is. And I'm pretty sure they had flour in those black-eyed peas. I'm not real sure. But anyway, after I ingested them, I was like, I don't think these were just straight up black-eyed peas, but one of them.
Well.
So, but that's what I'm trying to do. And they brought these beignets, and I was like, holy mother chicken.
They are good.
I just watched other people eat them, and it was weird.
Yeah.
People felt uncomfortable. But I didn't eat one, nor did I want one, because I was like, I'm not backtracking.
Yeah.
I'm not. I've come too far. I'm on day 6, and I'm not backtracking. Today's day 7.
Holla. You know that 7 is the number of completion in the Bible, right?
I'm having cake today.
Fullness.
Just kidding.
No, you're gonna complete the first phase of this lifestyle
October
change.
1st will be when I have my first cheat meal.
Yeah.
So tell me about your week 1.
My week 1 has actually been really well. It's gone really well. So what I'm doing is just exercising and pushing myself in that, but not like gains. I'm not trying to get strong. I'm not trying to whatever. Just really exercise and push myself. For me, it's all in here. Like the self-talk. I talked about this last week. The self-talk is what really gets me down every single time. So when I'm working out in the morning, because that's just what's best for me.
Yeah.
While I'm running or while I'm doing whatever exercise it is at the gym or something, like I am capturing the thoughts, which that was my number one prayer, is just for God to help me just identify when that broken record starts to play again. So that has been really, really sweet. And so I've already pushed some personal goals, like as far as like running distance, running time, things like that. The food, I was kind of like you said, prepared. I was prepared. I knew what we were going to eat. It was a little different because I had already shopped for the week, and so I was just eating what we had in the house rather than going out and get other stuff. Everything was good, and the kids, like I told the kids what we're doing, and they want to be on board with it, so they're doing it as well. And we're not dieting per se. We're just not having the junk and the crap. And really, dinner meals are protein and vegetables, you know what I mean? The kids are able to have fruit and stuff like that. I'm kind of limiting that right now because I'm trying to keep my carbs down. It's been all good. Day before yesterday, I think it was, I don't know what the kids were doing. They were playing. It was after lunch, and I'd eaten lunch, and then I go into the cabinet, and I'm just like looking for something, and I had a hankering. And I've got this dark chocolate that's stevia sweetened that under normal circumstances, I would allow myself to have, a square or two or whatever, just to really like get that. Mm-hmm. But then in that moment, as I almost reached for it, I knew, like, it just caught me, like, you are not, like, you're reaching for this for reasons other than a treat. You know what I mean? There's something else. And I was just like, ugh. And so then I stopped myself. I didn't. I drank some water, which never, ever takes the place of it.
What's that?
But water. I drank water.
It's a drink?
Water. Yeah, it's clear, and it's like, it makes you feel wet if you get it on your body.
I thought it was brown and hot. I didn't know.
No. So I drank some water, and then my kids were doing whatever, so I was like, hey guys, I'm going to go get in the shower. It was 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was just, I'd kind of been off. So then I go in my room, throw myself on the bed, get my phone, and the next thing I know, I am just on Facebook scrolling. And then again, the thought hit me, like, you're numbing. Like, why are you numbing? Like, so you try to reach for the chocolate to numb, and now you're on social media trying to numb. Like, why are you trying to numb? And I never really arrived at why. You know what I mean? I don't know what the trigger was, but there was something in there. But the fact that I not once but twice caught myself.
Dang.
It's ginormous, you know what I mean? And I don't know what it was. It was I feel like it was day 3, I'm not sure, but it is what it is. So I got in the shower and I was just, okay, God, like, help me out here. So anyway, other than that, things are going well. Every Thursday I cook for our life group. Yeah. And we always have cookies. And so I'm the one who cooks. And so we had chocolate chunk cookies. Oh my God. And usually, like, we're done eating and the cookies just sit there and we just do this while we're talking. And so it was very intentional on my part to not eat one, and I didn't eat one.
Good for you.
I know, right? Normally I would have had like 5. I mean, life group, like, back me up here. I would have had so many. But anyway, so just those things, and I'm finding that it's important for me to celebrate, because I wouldn't celebrate that. I would just skim over and not having the cookie and then go work out this morning and beat myself up because I can't, do as many jumping jacks as we're supposed to be doing or whatever. So I'm just learning to just really create those new neural pathways of positive thinking.
Remapping.
Yeah. I feel like every time I say that, you do say that.
I know. I'm trying to make it catch on.
It's going to catch on.
Remapping.
I didn't say neural pathways. Anyway, so that's kind of how I'm doing. I did have a couple of people reach out and say that they wanted to join us. So, pause. Come with us. There's strength in numbers, and we need each other. Each other. So,
it is serious.
Leave comments, or share, or like, or send us messages, or whatever you need to do. Just that we know that we're not alone doing this, and so that you know that you're not alone. So
and you can start today. You don't have to start last week when we did. Yeah. But I didn't tell you this. Real quick. So I had to work all day Sunday. Yeah. And I think that was day 2 or day 3. I had the keto flu.
Yeah.
It was serious. I literally, so I had to get to work at like 9, and I didn't leave until 7. So that entire time, and I'm in a very people-based occupation where you're talking that entire time.
Yeah.
And every muscle in my body hurt so bad, like to touch me or just for me to even move. And it's not it wasn't a workout sore.
Right.
It was just a from your bones out sore. And I was so tired, I couldn't keep my eyes open. And people are talking to me, and I'm just like,
glassy-eyed.
and I walked in the door, I kid you not. This is how your presence, so we talk about presence a lot. Like, there is no neutral presence. You are either bringing positivity into the room without saying a word, or negativity. You're bringing life, or you're taking it away just by your very presence.
I take life.
Voldemort. You don't even know what that means. And that was really creepy, everybody.
I don't. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, I kid you not, I walked in the building with my book bag and my purse like I do every single week. And the first person that saw me said, "Are you okay?" And I was like,
"You're dead to me."
I feel fine. Why? And she's like, "Oh, well, you just look tired." And I'm like, well, that would be a true statement. I am tired. And I didn't realize how bad it was. And then I decided after that, I was like, put a smile on your face, sister. So I started smiling, and I put my stuff down, and I walk out, and the next person, "Are you okay?"
Okay, can we just collectively never ask that question ever again to anybody? I mean, rephrase it. Hey, how's it going? Don't ask if we're okay. Don't ask if you're tired. Don't ask if we put on weight. And don't ask if we're okay. Are you okay?
I had one person ask me if I changed my makeup.
Okay.
I had like 4 people ask me if I was tired. And then I stopped one of the people, and I was like, "Hey, so why did you ask that?" And he was like, "Well, you're just not our spunky Shannon." And I was like, there it is. Okay, it's just that presence. It's the presence that we bring into the world, and I obviously was taking life.
So speak life.
So the whole day I'm walking around just going...
See, oh man,
it was awful.
So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Myers-Briggs personality assessments, but I'm an ENFP, so I'm extroverted, and I'm intuitive, and I'm a feeler and a perceiver. So the thing is, I'm always like cheery most of the time. Like my natural countenance is cheery and bubbly and all these stuff, but I'm still human, and so sometimes I go down, kind of like what you're talking about, for a variety of reasons. And so there's nothing that sets me off more when someone's like, you're not being yourself. I'm like, can I have a bad day? But that's just me. So anyway, you may have received it differently than I usually do.
Sorry, my count steps just came up on my phone. Sorry about that.
She did 6,600 steps yesterday.
Is that what it says?
6,636 steps.
That's because most of my steps happen between midnight and 3 o'clock in the
Listen,
morning.
we don't need to hear about your social life up on the video. Okay.
We're remodeling a house.
We're at the club.
No, Bruno Mars was not involved. It was more of a,
Well, you just had the wrong playlist going. It's probably
actually, I didn't have a playlist. When I start painting or I'm doing something like that, I like to just listen to like my head, I work stuff out. I work crap out. Some of my best content for writing and all that stuff comes from vacuuming, doing the dishes, and taking a shower.
You should start coloring. You know what I mean? Because that's like a mindless task.
I tried it. I have a Harry Potter coloring book.
Oh.
I do have a Harry Potter book.
Well, that's your problem. You need to get like flowers.
Anywho,
nature scenes.
Yeah. So this week was just really weird. It was a very, very weird week. We are in the middle of remodeling my husband's his house that he had before we got married. And the renters are moving in today, and we still have things all over that house because we've been repainting, we've been doing all the things, and he's been doing it for like 2 months now. And anyway, we've been at the house really late, and so you know how when you're tired, and you know we're doing this lifestyle change, and we're trying to make strides to be a better us, and you know that's when the enemy comes in, and he's like, "Hey, let me remind you of some things." And so I had a situation this week actually where I had a friend call to ask for some advice because her husband has decided to make some really bad choices that is going to affect their family forever. And it just took me back to that place where I was going through a very similar situation. It's the same situation wrapped in a different bow. And I mean, a lot of us have that. You know, it's the same situation.
Yeah.
It's just certain circumstances are a little bit different. And it was one of those things where I was able to, since Stephen and I were stuck in a house together alone for, you know, from the time I got off work until last night, it was 3 a.m, just an opportunity to download with him some of the things that went down and the ramifications and how it even gets to that place. And anyway, we had an opportunity to download some of that with our counselor on Wednesday, and it was really, really helpful. And I gotta just say that, you know, if people that don't go to counseling, you do not know what you are missing, because your brain is a NASCAR track, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on, and you cycle and cycle and cycle. And your therapist, your counselor, he's the off-ramp. He helps you get off that cycle. And I remember back in the day, it used to be taboo to go to a counselor, like you were mentally ill or something, and now it's just like, no, that's where I go when I need to hear truth.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah.
When I was in counseling, pretty much all of 2016, some of 15, just helped me processing my past and stuff like that. I remember telling people, like, he was the most expensive best friend that I could have ever chosen. Like, for real. He would bring truth and he would bring perspective that a best friend couldn't, by the way, because there was so many years of training behind that. And then me needing and seeking the answers and the help, but yet having this trained professional to speak into that made me feel far less crazy than not going to him would have been.
Yeah.
So, and another thought real quick about going as a couple. So years ago, before Jose and I separated, we spent years working on our marriage because we knew, like I knew that we just weren't right. We weren't living well. We weren't, our marriage wasn't well. We weren't living like genuine and authentic and open, and we never fought because we never got below the surface. So you can't fight about things if you're not bumping up against your beliefs and your core values as an individual trying to have life with another individual. So anyway, we spent, hey, you want to lift up Max like we did Bobby on day 1? Hold on. This is Max. Say hi. Max and Ruby. Anyway, okay, so.
He's like, just let me lick your face. We're fine.
Back to serious talk. So I remember we would never work on our relationship, and then I brought it up, and I said, no, like this I couldn't live with it any longer. So we kept working on it, kept bringing it up. But we didn't scratch the surface still, even with our working on it, you know, and we actually went to a counselor, not the one that I love, but we went to another one, and he was good too, but I just phoned it in. Like, I wasn't being honest. I mean, I was being as surface as I could, because I knew if we got below, then it would have hurt. And don't we run from pain? Yeah. So I was the one that initiated all this stuff, but yet I wasn't.
Cell phones.
Yeah,
do you run from pain?
Yeah,
yes,
we do. So anyway, that's just huge. And so going to counseling is great. Or even if your marriage is just, if you just know, or your relationships or your friendships with, you know, your relationship with your parents, like anything, any relationship in your life, if you know it's not the best that it could be, then dig in deep. And if that means sitting down with one another and getting deep and really saying the things that need to come out, or finding a professional and having them help you get to that spot, because we may not even know how to on our own.
Right.
So, sorry.
Well, and no. So Stephen and I, we've only been married for 3 months. And honestly, we are happy as larks. I mean, we have a great time together. But there's this one area of communication where I don't understand what he's saying. I don't understand his motive behind what he's saying. And then sometimes I'll say things and he doesn't understand my motive. So we just needed someone to come between us before that became a thing. Yeah. So we're doing the diet and exercise before we have to go on Big Pharma. You know what I'm saying? So that's preemptive.
Medicine. She said Big Pharma. Not everybody knows.
Not a big fan
of medicine. Yeah.
So we're trying to do the things to keep us. These are guardrails. We're trying to stay on the road of health. Because the minute we let that fester, we're going to just go right off the rails. And so, and we know ourselves. And so that's why, so this week was week 2 of, I think we're going for 4 weeks or something like that. Just learning about each other and how we're wired and why we say the things that we say. What are the experiences that went on with us as children or as we were married, as adults or whatever, because we're old. I'm old. He's not old. He's your age.
Stop.
Anyway, and so when I say something to him, he feels like he needs to do certain things in order to answer me. Whereas for me, I'm just like, no, this is just a straight up, do you want eggs for breakfast? And, instead he's feeling like he's got to make all these things. Or for me, he asks me, do I want eggs for breakfast? And my response might be different just because I've been conditioned a certain way because of past relationships.
For sure.
So it's the perception behind what you're thinking they're asking. And it's you putting emotions behind what they're asking.
You're right.
When in actuality, they just really want to know, do you want eggs for breakfast? And you're like, well, what is their motive behind it?
Yeah.
And so we've been unpacking our personalities so that we can figure out, and our past circumstances, so we can figure out why we're doing all the things. So,
it's funny. Man, so much food for thought. Sorry, I'm just like processing as I'm sitting here listening and thinking. But like with me and my husband, like just this morning, like I'm passionate about this eating well and exercising and stuff like that. And he wanted to sleep in, and I'll just work out tomorrow. And I just came at him, like not physically, but like emotionally. There was a lot of passion, and I just kind of got all over him. And then like my reaction startled me. So then I had to ask myself, whoa, like what's in me that's you know what I mean? I can't force him to do something that he has chosen to do. If he chooses not to do it, then that's not on me.
Right.
And so what does it say about me? Like what is my motive in getting frustrated with him? And am I seeing him for who he is, or am I seeing a reflection of myself in him?
Yep.
Is this anger, like I'm seeing this apathy or this whatever in, and I'm taking my frustration of myself doing that in the past out on my husband, and then he gets up and goes and works out, and then I can't help but think, oh, he did that as a guilt. He probably
because you told him to, not because he wanted to,
I
not
probably
because he was
guilted
motivated,
him. Right.
Not because he was inspired to do it, but because you had your foot on his back.
Yes, and I'm a naggy wife. I was a naggy wife this morning, and so then he comes back, and I had to tell him, and that's where communication, this is where going below the surface actually, came into play. I was like, hey, listen, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at, sleep in, do whatever. I just think we need to sit down and talk about, like, why are we doing what we're doing? And not only is it week 1 with us, it's week 1 with me and my husband doing this as well. And so where are we at? What's working? What's not working? Some things. And so me being coach may not be working, and he has to be willing to bring that to the table and tell me that. I'm a big girl, I can handle it. But normally, not normally, if we weren't being intentional with expressing ourselves to each other, he might not tell me that for fear that it would hurt my feelings, and I wouldn't want to receive it because, well, then that means I'm doing something wrong, ergo I'm wrong, I'm bad, I've done, you know what I mean? So instead of it being about who we are and our worth, it's about what we're doing, and we can tweak that because there's no one that knows me better than my husband, and there's no one that I can hear it more deeply than my husband. So it's just a lot of thoughts there. I don't know, so much in there, girl.
I know. It's just been a bananas week.
BANANAS.
Bananas. So we gotta just get this house done. I need for people to stop acting a fool. And what else?
Yeah. Well, and I'll be honest with you, like week 1, like the hits have come. So if I've got through this week, with all the things, and next week when it comes again, because nothing's new under the sun, right? So when they come back up again next week, and I will say I've had a few more thoughts, by the way, kind of pinging back to the week of working out and exercising and eating well and stuff like that. I like squats. So I like squats with the barbell on the back, and then you squat down. I don't like lunges, but I like squats. So get your quarters ready, because I'm going to have You can bounce a quarter off my booty in a month. And then I like squats. And then what else was it? Dang it.
Cornbread.
Cornbread.
There was cornbread at the Cajun King yesterday, and I couldn't have it.
No, cornbread. You know what? That makes me think of something else. I'm all over the place. But, so are you the type of person, had you taken a bite, would that just be snowball downhill for you? Or can you take a bite and be okay?
It depends. So I'm one of those people where I don't have to eat the whole sleeve of cookies. I literally can have 2 cookies and walk away.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. But had I can tell you what would have happened yesterday.
That was a big butt.
If, never trust a big butt and a smile. But anyway.
You're so sad. I don't know what that means.
What?
I got both. I don't know what that means.
You don't know never trust a big butt and a smile?
No.
Poison.
That girl is poison.
That!
Oh, okay.
Sweet God.
I only listen to things that feed my soul. That girl is poison. Poison.
Anyway, what would have happened yesterday had I taken a bite of cornbread is I would have thought, I've blown this entire day.
Yeah.
And I would have thought, how could you do this? And I might have stopped at one bite. But the rest of the day, I would have hated myself.
Mm-hmm.
I would have condemned myself.
Yeah.
I would have just told myself, you have no restraint. What is wrong with you? I mean, you've worked so hard for 6 days and you're going to blow it because of a piece of cornbread?
Yeah, girl.
I mean, I just totally would have just smeared myself.
Yeah. Usually, okay, so.
I'm unhealthy.
Unhealthy.
That's why I have a counselor.
And accountability partner.
And an accountability partner.
The best. Anyway, okay, so in that, like, if I would have had a cookie or something last night, I would have felt good in the moment, I think. And I would have stopped at 2 or 1 or whatever. But then the next time a temptation came up, I'd be like, oh, I can just have 1 or 2 because I did it before. And I would just keep having 1 or 2, and I would rationalize it out and stuff like that. And I've earned this. And one thing I did think of this week, and the reason I know all this stuff because I was taking notes throughout the week, I was just journaling and stuff like that. But we're different people. That's okay.
I know, girl. I know.
But I would. I deserve these cookies, or I'm worth it. And the thing is, no, I'm worth having a healthy life. And I know it sounds so trite and like said before, but I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. And I might believe it for a week or 2, but something's different this month.
Yeah.
And something's changing this month. It's not going to end on October 1st for me. No. What has changed? Like my diet.
And y'all have to keep us accountable to that because I always say that. And then all hell breaks loose.
All hail?
I didn't tell you this. I did the
all
same.
Hell breaking loose. All hell. H-E double hockey sticks. Okay, you didn't tell us what.
It's hail where I'm from. All hell breaking loose up in her. So I did not tell you this. I did this last September. This same exact thing.
Do you remember?
And you know what had happened last year was I actually lost. I think I lost like 15 pounds, and I kept it off. This whole year I've kept it off.
Good job. What is it about September?
I did bring some more. It's before pumpkin spice season for me. Pumpkin spice season doesn't start until October 1st in my book.
Basic.
And this is like you're done with all the lemony stuff from the summer, and then you're ready for the pumpkin stuff, but it's not time yet, so you just have this lull. And I'm like, well, what better time to change your life than in September between lemon and pumpkin? So I'm being dead serious. You think I'm kidding? I'm being dead serious. So anyway, and I'm reading all these things from last year, and the thing is I did not stick with the diet when October rolled around, and my blood sugar skyrocketed back up, and that's what I'm aiming for is the blood sugar.
So maybe we need to have an October challenge, and then a November challenge, and just tough it out. I was gonna say, okay, thankful Thanksgiving. I don't know what. But hold on. One thing, the psychology to life change or lifestyle change and healthful living and weight loss and all this stuff is that everything can't be off limits all the time.
No.
So on Thanksgiving and like my mom's birthday is September.
A cheat meal.
Cheat meal. Or it's Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? Like it's just Thanksgiving.
That's a cheat day.
But But you're not cheating. Like, even the word cheat makes it seem like it's forbidden, and we want the forbidden thing. But is that, no, it's like, hey, this is something that I'm planning to do. Do you plan to cheat? No, it usually sneaks up on you and it bites in your butt. Anyway, so we're not. We're going to plan to celebrate. My mom's birthday is September 18th, and I don't know what we're doing. She asked for a chocolate cake, so I can plan to have a piece. I know it's coming up.
No. My kid's birthday's in 2 days. I just was looking at my watch, like, is it the night? I'm a horrible mother.
Her kids are grown. Not that it's not whatever. It is important.
She's going to be 25, y'all.
It's not like a 6-year-old that's like, Mommy, can I have a birthday party?
You're not getting that Batman party because I forgot.
I hate Batman. No, anyway, you can plan to have a piece of cake. You don't have to plan to have the whole thing. And so when you have it, then the mental conversation is a lot better, a lot more healthy. And so if we're talking about full, holistic, all health, then
I'm in the
whatever.
process.
I'm not a fan of cheat, and we can differ on our opinions, it's fine, but it's a burger. It's not a test of your moral character, so you're not cheating on anything. You're just learning discipline, and if you fail, then you get yourself back up and you love yourself still, and you give yourself grace, and then you keep going. When you beat yourself up,
which is what
that's when you fail. A few years ago, I heard a woman say she was gung-ho, and she sounded a whole lot like we sound right now, week 1, whatever, all this stuff. And it was on social media. She made a post and said, when I was at the gym, I was sweating, and I was like, suck it up, fat girl, that's me killing the fat girl inside, she's coming out of my pores, or something super morbid. But I was like, oh, snap. Like, I would never go back to the gym if that's how I spoke to myself. And I have spoken to myself that way, but that's what's different. That's what's becoming different now. And secondly, I don't see how that's productive.
It's not. It's not.
So anyway, that goes for me in the same whole cheat meal, and I can't have this, and all things are permissible, but not all things are beneficial. So anyway.
So yesterday when I was at the Cajun King, and I'm eating.
Is the music still too loud? Is the music still too loud there? The music years ago.
I was so overwhelmed by the Mardi Gras beads. I don't even know that
it's the
music.
atmosphere. There's so much food. There's so much beads. There's so much music, and there's way too many beignets that are so good.
So, and they kept bringing out fried catfish. I did not have one fried catfish.
I don't even know what that tastes like.
So anyway, I just know that as I was eating these beans, I was thinking to myself, I bet these have flour in them. I bet there's some kind of sugar or something that turns into sugar in my body in these things that I'm not supposed to have. And it was like, you know what? I'm celebrating my friend.
That's
and
good.
I called Danny my friend.
It's just not
he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it when I associate myself with him as a friend.
Well, anyway. I'm about to get to know Danny because I don't know. I don't need to.
He's just fun.
He's fresh.
So anyway, I'm just kidding. I love Danny. He loves me. I just need everybody to know that. So anyway,
comment below, Danny. Comment below.
He ain't ever gonna watch this.
I'm gonna send Danny a special shout out. Hey, Danny, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna find you. Anyway, you were going somewhere serious.
So anyway, I was thinking I'm here with my team. We're having a good time, and you know what? This is one incident, and I know tonight I'm gonna eat good, so I'm gonna eat strict, and so I'm totally fine with whatever I've just taken in.
Good.
And so I was not hard on myself. I just allowed it to be what it was. It wasn't like it was an intentional thing, but then again, it was one of those things where it's okay.
Were you creating new neural pathways?
Remapping.
You didn't do the hand.
Oh. Remapping.
Good job. Good job. So, let me ask you this then. Yeah. What are you grateful for this week?
Latex paint. You want to know why?
I did not think she was going to say paint. Y'all. I was like, I know it's been 3 months, Shannon, but dead gum.
This is why. So, I thought I got it all off of me, but it comes off real easy. I actually was working on this one a whole lot more. And I got this one mostly off.
So you're grateful for latex paint?
But I forgot to get that one. Yeah, my hand was covered. I mean, like the whole hand was covered in paint last night at 3 o'clock in the morning. This morning at 3 o'clock in the morning. Y'all had to take a shower at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was just awful. So anyway, it all came off with the exception of I forgot that, and then I got some smush on my leg.
Smush.
But it's going to come off.
When you molt, it'll come off, because other than scraping it,
I'm just so excited about it. What
molt.
are you grateful for?
I am grateful for, I should really think about this before the question comes, because I'm always like,
I was thinking about 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, man, I'm so grateful for this latex paint. It just comes right off.
Seriously. Oh, that didn't buy me enough time.
Oh.
Say something else.
I mean,
real
it
quick.
took a little bit. I mean, I literally had to stand in the shower and do this business right here. Are we good yet?
I don't know.
Do you know what you want to say yet?
Peanut butter.
Are you not grateful for
Last
anything?
night, okay, I'm grateful for Jif Natural with honey. And I don't need y'all haters to be on me about the honey, okay?
Girl.
But anyway, I don't gorge or anything like that. But last night I just didn't feel well. Like I didn't eat enough. I don't think I got to make sure I eat enough because sometimes I get stupid and I eat too much or eat not enough. And so I was not feeling well, and I tracking my food, and I don't think I ate enough. But anyway, I had a tablespoon. You know, I measured it out, and I just got to like eat it almost like a popsicle sucker kind of, like I just licked it. So good, and
I
it
love
like
to watch dogs do that.
it was very tasty, and it calmed my stomach. I don't know what was going on, but I was grateful for that last night, and I went to bed happy. I think if I tried to lay down starving, you know, I don't do that every night, but I can't sleep. So anyway, I was really grateful for that. That is the best. Listen, Jif. If you hear me, you're natural with honey. I've tried Skippy with honey. I've tried Peter Pan
not an advertisement,
with
by the
honey,
way.
and
We're
it
not
just
paid to
does.
do this.
Shannon, why is your
What
phone
in
not
the French?
charged?
What in the French?
Her phone's got 20% battery, so I could just keep
plug it in
talking.
at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Anyway, Jif with honey, Jif natural with honey, because it's just so good.
Even though natural means nothing.
It does in peanut butter world.
Anyway.
It's not partially hydrogenated oils.
Well, anyway.
Okay, well.
All right, we're done.
Yeah, we'll see you next week for episode.
Season 4, episode 29. It's going to be fine, y'all. All right,
Fine,
we're
even
out.
when it's not.